Cool. And we are live. Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you are. Welcome to the third episode of Design Dialogue, our little chat with designers across the globe about different important and not so important topics. So today we will be chatting about being a design leader rather than a manager with Igor Silkin, who is a design manager, who's head of design actually right now. So hi Igor, hello, how are you?
Hi Alex. Hi everyone. Thank you for having me today.
Yeah, welcome. It's really cool. Really cool to have you here, and thank you that you accepted this invitation to chat about this such a great topic. So design leadership, design management, a lot of words nowadays, and it's always hard to designers to pick a side, like it's like dark side, light side, to decide where do we want to go. Like this senior product designer is like a huge milestone, and then like we need to decide. But the question is, do we need to decide? Like, can we swap between different roles and so on? But yeah, we'll cover all the things today, and let's start with some basic ones. So design leadership and design management. Do you think these are the same things? And if not, what is the difference?
Yeah, it's a good question to begin with. And for me, design leadership is totally different part from design management. And you could be a design leader and not be a design manager, and at the same time I think you could not be design manager and not be a design leader. And I would like to start with a little personal story, maybe so our listeners would better understand my perspective and how I came to design management. And it will also explain my point of view better. So many
Sounds great.
years ago, yeah, many years ago, I started my design career, maybe something around 20 or 18. I don't know. I don't remember even. But around 7 years ago, I shifted to design management roles, and it came to me like unexpected way. I think so, and I was a part of a team, maybe five designers or so, and I always was thinking, why do we do things this way? Why don't we have like brainstorm sessions, or why do we choose a name for our product this way? And at the time, I was reading a lot of articles, and I was doing um, a subscription where I shared my findings, and I read a lot of articles that time. Uh, and my thought process at that time was, why didn't we do this? Why? And I was asking myself, what stops me from doing this, from acting like I want to, from doing design the way I want to? And it was a process in my mind. And in one moment, I just woke up and thought, nothing is stopping me from doing the things I want them to be. Like, if I think that we should do a design sprint, why don't I tell everybody that we should do this? And this was like a pivotal moment. And from that point, I started to come out with different ideas, speak up on the meetings, take charge of facilitating some meetings. And in surprise, everyone was okay with this, and everyone liked it. It comes out that no one was thinking about this, and that's why we have no such activities earlier. So, long story short, I became somewhat like a leader in the team, and
Yep.
guys started to ask my advice. I started to talk with them and mentor some of them. And from this point, I understood that wow, I could not only do design, but I could help people to do design better. I could lead teams, and from that point, I started to look for design management roles. But it was not always the point for me, like
Yep.
roles or what your responsibilities. From that point, I was free from this. Until now, I never act like I have some role, particular role. If I see
Yep.
something needs to be changed, if I see that design could help in some point of company, uh, then I do it. I just do it. And this example represents to me the difference between design management and design leadership. And I think you should always look inside you when you're thinking about it. And I talk a lot, and it's a very interesting topic for me. I talk a lot with different designers about this hard choice, and
Yep.
it's always seems like you have to do this choice, like you have to do this, but it's totally wrong. It's totally wrong. You need to find it inside yourself first, and then choose something if you need to. But if you feel that designing stuff is works just great for you and you want to have a bigger impact, maybe you should be a design leader or just a designer leading things, not a design manager. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really, really great example, and yeah, it reminds me like my own experience when I was like promoted to be a design leader. It was like a
Yeah.
lead product designer, but I even didn't know like what should I do. And advice I usually give people now, like if you want to go into this leadership path, if you realize it's for you, start being a leader before you were promoted, like to be a leader before you
Yeah.
have this like official title, because you can just work in your team and you can inspire others. You can mentor like junior designers, or you can mentor other colleagues with different topics. Maybe you're very good, I don't know, in UX, or maybe you have a fancy crispy UI, and you can teach others like how to do this. You can mentor
Yeah.
them, and it's like a great part of this leadership skill we can apply. And yeah, when I was like promoted, I didn't have a choice. It was like the only way to grow, so I just accepted it. Of course, as a
Yeah.
designer, like I want to grow. I want to get better. I want to with my skills. I want higher salary and all this stuff. So I just got this chance. But nowadays, especially working across like different companies and different countries, I see that we have this choice. We don't need
Yeah.
to be design managers or design leaders if we don't want to. We could live quite happy life inside our product teams, and yeah, just driving products, creating product solutions, and yeah, so we don't need to make this choice.
Yeah.
You already
It's
mentioned, yeah.
yeah. It's a common trap I see in design world. Yeah. Like uh, someone comes to you and say, "Oh, great, we need a design manager. You are a great leader. I see your potential. Just become a design manager of this team."
Yeah,
It's a point when you need to think a lot about this, and I think having mentor at this point of time is very great thing to do. Talk to your mentor, like, or find a mentor. Find someone outside of the company and talk to them about this opportunity. You can always choose the other path. Yeah.
yeah. Like, by the way, yeah, just yesterday I attended like an ADP Least mentor meetup, and they raised a thought that it's great to find a mentor outside your industry. Even
Yeah.
like, for example, if you're a designer,
Yeah.
find a product manager mentor. They can teach you how to think about business, how to think, how to work with stakeholders and all this stuff. So yeah, I believe it's quite good advice.
Yeah, for sure.
Uh, okay, going back to our design management, design leadership stuff.
Yeah.
Uh, do you see like a very clear distinction between two of these? Is being a design leader just inspiring other, while like design management is more like working with this, well, I would say bureaucracy inside organizations where you need to make everything work. Like you have a bunch of designers and you need to create these design operations to make everything work together.
Yeah, for sure. If you are a design manager, you have certain responsibilities, and you need to clearly understand that it's a role, and it's not. It was created not because someone needed a better designer on this role. Someone needed a manager on this role, and it's a different job. And always talking with designers, I point this out, that it's a different role, it's a different job, and it's a different career path even. There are a lot of things that designers and maybe design leaders even hard to deal with if there will be no design manager nearby doing this, like design operations, tooling stuff, budgeting, all these all these things. Someone have to do this, and usually being promoted to design manager and with lack of understanding that it's a different job, people find hard times shifting, and they used to create design, they used to create some output in Figma, or talk about user journeys. It's, of course, in our profession, it's the core, like understanding humans, understanding user experience, but someone have to do other stuff like hiring people, like creating like all these supporting stuff, developing
Yeah.
people, and so on. It's a big job, and if your company, if your team is becoming quite huge, like in my example, I lead it and manage team of over 20 people. Like you have a lot of this stuff
Yeah.
in some point of time. You just could not all the time do design stuff and be in charge of everything and understand everything. So, but in terms of being a great manager in design, you have to be a great design leader in the same point of time. And for me, there is a great metaphor, like for what is design leadership for me. Design leadership is like creating this negative space, like creating yeah, a space of negative pressure that everyone in a team can feel into. Like you create some sort of vision, and you always should be aware of it. Like, what do you want to build? Like, I want to create I don't know, a service that will help all designers do only design work all the time, like something like this. And it's a vision. It's a vision that creates a negative space.
Yeah.
And as a good leader, as a you need to be aimed to create this space so everybody else could feel like this need to fill in this gap. If you know what I mean. If I
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. It's like pressure from outside, which move you forward to the right goals in the right direction, because it's so easy, like as a product designer, like in the team, like it's so easy to be distracted. Like because as designers, we like as product designers, we usually like problem solvers. And there are
Yeah,
so many problems in the world. So we want to solve them all. And it's so easy
yeah,
to be
yeah.
distracted and solving the one
Oh,
problem.
so
So yeah, I
yeah,
agree that design, like design leader, design manager, this person who guide you to the right direction and help you like to stay on track and help you like to manage all this like
yeah,
different stuff, like manage all these different problems we have around.
yeah,
So
yeah.
and I love your thought that yeah, it's impossible to be like you need to be a design manager and design leader at one person to lead team, because being realistic, we don't have like modern organizations, they don't have design manager role and design leader role as a separate
Yeah.
thing. They usually have like a design manager,
and,
and this
and it's
person,
impossible, and it's basically
yeah,
impossible. Design is works this way that uh, people people would not work under the person that understand nothing about design. It's really hard. They need
yeah,
to have a really great character, like character, so people would forget that they are not a great designers. It's structured that way, that you need to be a great designer in core to be valued throughout design community and design team. So it's different, like in other maybe in other parts of company, like I don't know, in business side, in maybe operations, and this not focused on craft
yeah.
uh, professions. Yeah, it's different, but in design you need to be a great designer, and being a great designer is to understand clearly what do you want to achieve, and then you become a design leader. Yeah.
Yeah, sounds really good, like a clear path. So, uh, yeah, if you want to become like a design manager from, I don't know, being a product manager only, it's quite tricky, and people definitely need to get this design background to start from, to understand design at least, because you work with people, you work with humans, you
Yeah.
work with your team, and yeah, you need to understand them. You mentioned that one of these part of design leader job is hiring the team, hiring the
Yeah,
right
for sure.
people. Uh, how heavy is this responsibility to hire
Oof.
the right people in your team?
Yeah, I could call it the hardest part of design management, especially.
Oh,
And
interesting. So even not this like budgeting and financial stuff. It's
yeah,
more like
yeah. It's like I don't know, if you imagine like building something from blocks.
yeah,
It's what are these blocks? What are these blocks of Lego? I don't know, or other. Uh, it's it's a critical part, because when you become a design, when you manage an design organization, you shift from creating things by yourself and to create a really great product, really great design. You need great designers, and it's really hard to find them. You always, especially when your organization grows fast, you have high demand of people, and business always comes to you and say, like, we need designer in this team, we need designer in this team, if you're in a good place. If they
yeah,
come to you with these proposals. Yeah. And in this place, you're always stressed with this need to fulfill this gap and find the great people. And
yeah,
it's totally responsibility of design manager. I usually see some leaders and managers that think that maybe HR department will help them. No one will help you. No one will help you. It's totally your responsibility. And when I'm looking for designers, when I have some role in mind, I dig into LinkedIn. I communicate a lot. I ask advices. I search people for myself, and uh, it's it's a huge part, really.
yeah, yeah. That makes sense. And yeah, I would say like hiring is the most tough thing because it really impacts
Yeah,
all the future. Because depending on what are the people you hire, who are they, like what are the skill set is, uh, it really impacts like the future of the not only design in the company but product overall and how the product will be developed as well.
yeah.
So when you hire the designers, what are the key qualities you look and what is like a, let's say, what is like a very green flag for you, and what is like oppositely a very red flag?
Yeah, and the hardest part, why I call this a hard process, like a hard thing to do, because the main part for me and the most difficult one is to find a team that culturally fits together well. And it's easier to find a lot of designers on market with nearly same skill set and experience, maybe even. But it's hard to find a team that will really become a team that will complement each other. That will be diverse enough, so they have a broad perspective in design. It's very meaningful, especially when you're doing something like international product, not on particular market. You need to have a broad perspective in design also, and it's always hard when you see a good talented designer but you understand that he's just great, but he won't, or she or they won't fit to our culture maybe. And it always paid off later for me. Guys in my teams always says that they feel like a family, and it's very important for me. Yeah. So maybe it's not the answer you were waiting for, like, but
Oh,
it's
that's
really,
great. That's, yeah,
you
that's
can,
reality.
yeah. Why is this way? Because you can't change who people are. You can't change how they see things. That you can't change this stuff. You can teach someone easily different tools, Figma, like anyone could learn Figma in, I don't know, a month of hard work. You will know every shortcut, like, and every stuff
Yeah.
you are doing. And with the growth of AI, yes, we will question in future: do we need to learn Figma or some stuff like this? So there's the other parts that are more important than knowing some tools.
Yeah, definitely, absolutely agree with this. And I also heard about this. Um, in relation to skills, there are like coachable skills and uncoachable skills. So as you mentioned, like there are things we can teach designers, we can improve them, we can help them to grow. But also there are some things we can't impact, even like with coachable mentorship program, invest in lots of
Yeah.
money. Like some things it's not possible to change them. So yeah, definitely,
Yeah, and
definitely agree.
there is the one thing in the core of it that you could not change. You could not change uh, this need of this person to change. This person in the first place need to want to learn something, want to change, and it's
Yeah,
always hard part to understand for managers and leaders, uh, this side of things. Like, you could not help someone to become better designer if somewhere inside of them uh, isn't growing this fire of wanting to change, wanting to
yeah,
grow. And it's the first thing that I'm trying to look in designers, this culture of constant growth, culture of questioning things inside them. First of all, not question. It's easy for designers to question everything, like, why is this working this way? Why you use this component? Why you make this gap? Yeah, but it's hard to question yourself. It's the hardest part, actually. What if I'm
yeah.
wrong? What if I understand business wrong? What if I understand the role of design wrong? What if there is not only one choice to become design manager to grow my career? Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, I think design leaders as well have this imposter syndrome, and it's quite common thing to
Yeah.
I don't know, every field, I guess, like in every field, like people can feel that they don't belong to this field, or they don't know enough, they're not skilled enough, not enough experience, and so on. So yeah, but I really love the like first thought you mentioned. Just try it. Just do something. Don't be shy. Like don't be afraid. Just try to change the
Yeah,
culture. Try to change the process. Like try and see. It's very similar to like how do products work. Like until we ship something, we can't say for sure if
yeah,
it work or not. So we just need to do it.
yeah,
Cool. Yeah, going thinking about this like imposter syndromes. I know like as designers, we could be introverts or extroverts, and mainly like designers believe, I think, they're introverts. Like I talked to many designers, and mainly like all of them
yeah.
said they're introverts, but honestly, personally, I don't believe that you could be like a UX or product designer if you're an introvert. It could be really challenging because you need to talk to your team, you need to talk to stakeholders all the time, you need to defend your design solutions, you need to
Yeah.
like communicate all the time. What about design managers and design leaders? Are there like is there a place for introvert leader there? Does it even
Yeah,
exist or
sure, sure. I'm personally introvert, and when I say this to my colleagues or people that know me
they don't believe
in
it?
my role, yeah, and as a design leader, uh, they start to look at me and say, "What? What? You are an introvert? No way! No way!" But it's true. It's true. You could not. Uh, you could not choose if you would be an extrovert or introvert. You like born this way, and you really need to understand that our culture. There are different cultures around the globe, but Western culture, like European, US culture, Australian, I think so, is very uh, extroverted, is very forwarded to this praise of extroverted kind of persons. If we just imagine a leader, we always imagine extrovert. Like we think uh, they should be extrovert. But this it isn't working this way. Like it doesn't work this way. Yeah, and there is a great book I wanted to mention. Yeah, that shines a lot of light on this topic. It's called Quiet by Susan Tsane. I think so. I could send you later. Yeah, this book, and it highlights a lot of stuff inside being an introvert in this extroverted field. And first thing you need to do is to understand who you are. Like you are an introvert or an extrovert, and the time that you understand really deeply that you are an introvert, you need to say yourself, nothing wrong with me, nothing wrong with me, that's okay, I'm in extroverted world, but everything fine. And the second thing you need to understand that it's not an excuse. It's not an excuse. Being introvert is not an excuse. Yeah, it's harder for me, like, and to do stuff like I do today. Like, I need to have a rest after this live stream. I could not jump into next meeting with our team or do stuff like this. And knowing this, I like schedule some slots in my calendar, so I'm in charge of my amount of energy and when I rest and stuff like this. So yeah, it's broadly talked about extroverted sides of leadership, but it rarely mentioned about leaders introverts, and this lack of visibility, I would say, also provokes this notion that something wrong with me, that I'm an introvert, I couldn't be a leader, or something like that. Uh, you need to understand another thing, that everything is trainable. Like I was not always was this way. If you look at me, I don't know, 10 years ago or maybe 12 years ago, even, you will see a very, very shy person that couldn't speak a word in front of public. And here I am, like a live example that introverts could. Yeah. And there is another point I wanted to mention in this part. Like first, you need to understand that you're an introvert, and the second part, you could choose a different tools to communicate with people. I use a lot of asynchronous communication, like I record looms to guys and send them to them. I write messages, like the extroverts is are used to gather meetings, talk on them, and spread all this energy. But if you're an introvert, there are a lot of tools that you can use, not to talk to people directly, but clearly communicate your ideas, vision, or maybe ask questions. It's great. And there is another part of leadership that is very meaningful to being an introvert. I think being an introvert leader helps you to better understand introvert teammates that you have.
Interesting.
And maybe mm, uh, usually when you gather a team and you want to decide on something, like you have a brainstorm, you will easily find that some persons are shy to talk, or they just sit silently. And for me, being an introverted leader, I clearly understand them. I understand that some people are like that, and I pay attention to let them speak, to create an environment where they can communicate their ideas, because often they are very great ideas. Like introverts have strong parts and weak parts as well. Introverts are very good at like thinking through things, like complex stuff. Why I think a lot of designers identify themselves as introverts. Like design is tightly goes with this ability to think through complex problems. Yeah.
Yeah, sounds really, really, really great. How do you, like, you already mentioned these tools, like other tools we can use to avoid being an extrovert, avoid this stressful situation, like talking in front of a group of people, defending something. You can just record a Loom or another video or just message someone. Uh, do you have any other practical tips how to move out of your comfort zone if you're an
Oh,
introvert leader?
yeah. I like to start from the other end. Like you need to, in terms of personal growth, there is one thing um, that you need to understand. Like our society is growing fast, rapidly throughout the years, and we are used to things happen fast. Like you want a pizza, order pizza, in half an hour you are eating it. 200, 300 years, things was not the same. Like you need to grow stuff, you need to make a dough, you need to bake it, and you need to know how to do it, and all these things. And this rapidly growing culture shifts our perspective on things a lot, a lot. And we are I see that people start thinking about personal growth, about personal development, uh, in a similar thoughts. Like I want to grow, I want to become more extroverted on some occasions. uh, I want the result tomorrow. I want the result next, I don't know, week, maybe year even. But you need to understand first of all that some things takes time. Some things takes time, and personal growth, especially when you are an introverted one and want to become a leader, you need to learn how to act like an extrovert in some situations. And this shift in perspective will help you in one thing. You will allow yourself to fail, and you will fail. Like it's normal. Some days will be great, and you will do great job, and some days you will fail, like you will struggle to find words, you will forget some things, you will distracted, all of these things. There are a lot of topics that you need to cover to be a great presenter, for example, the great speaker. And understanding it, like in the first place, you need to clearly align with what you want to achieve, like why you want to grow, why you want to become a leader. uh, I always like to think this way, and that's the question I ask my mentees or designers. uh, like, why you want to become a design leader? Why do you doing this? Is this an ego? Is this salary? Is this that your friends told you and the community told you that you will be great and successful? uh, you always need to have like this fire inside you, not based on your ego or something like this. Like, my fire inside is creating a great design. I really like to see how world shifts in design, and I understand that I lead people great, and people listen to me, and they shine under my management. And these kind of things that fires me to grow as a person, to grow as a to become more skilled in some things, like speaking publicly or presenting stuff. And it was not always like this for me. I have upsides, downsides, as everyone else. You need to understand that people you see on your screens, like me, like other guys, they have these moments too. They didn't become this person one day. It's a career, it's a path.
Yeah, that's true. It's not like something just happened. It's really a process, and it's only you who decides like what is this process will look like, and
Yeah,
yeah, what should you do next? Like, where should you
yeah,
move? And I've heard lots of stories when designers decided to try this, like uh, management shoes, and they were design managers, but they realize it's not for them and they step backward. But it doesn't mean that it's like a downgrade to your career. No, it's like it's
yeah,
just different paths, and it's absolutely okay to accept it. Like if you are, I don't know, head of design and you realize, well, I want to design some products, like why not?
great.
And you just
Why
do
not?
it.
Yeah, yeah, sure. And if you had a try as a design manager and you think you have failed in some point, maybe later, just step back, take a time, deep breath, and in a year or so, maybe you will have another opportunity, and it will work out great. It's always
Yeah,
matter
yeah.
of time. If you really understand that you want this way, uh, go this way. Don't listen to anybody.
Yeah, great advice. Uh, and what is like, let's imagine there is like a senior product designer in front of you, and
Yeah,
this designer just decided to become a leader. What are the steps you advise them to take?
a
Like the
leader,
first,
not a design manager, a design
well,
leader.
they just decided to take this like leadership path, and yeah, probably like it's something like design leadership, design management. But yeah, let's say like they decided to become a design leader, like a proper design managers who start with leadership.
Yeah, first thing um, that I would try to understand if they clearly understand design role in business. To be a good design manager, you need to understand not only how design works or how user experience is created, but you are coming on this step where you need to understand uh, what role design takes in the business growth or business development. And it's not usually an easy thing to do. I always advise them to talk to different professions, like talk to business side. Uh, it's like in my story from which I began. You sometimes you think that. How could I talk to this top manager? Like, why? I'm just a designer. How could I even be thinking of asking this person? But it's always usually not the case. You could just write your I don't know senior managers in your company and just ask, "Hey, I'm a designer. I'm really interested in how our company is operating. Let's have a coffee and maybe you will help me to better understand it." And I think a lot of leaders in your company will answer and will have a coffee with you. And remember, if one says no, maybe there is another one that will say yes. And it is a very good thing to understand the design role. Maybe talk to your mentor or talk to someone outside your company. uh, why? Because when you become a design manager and thinking about stuff only from design perspective, it will not lead you to a good result as a design manager on this role. It will still You will still be a good designer, but you need to understand, you need to become even more. You need to become a good design manager, and this involves talking and communicating with your peers. Um, Building your team, communicating to stakeholders, understanding business perspectives, and all this budgeting, as I said, if it's a large team, maybe, and a lot of stuff. And the first thing to understand is the role of design inside the company.
Yeah, great. That's great advice. So all this inspiring design, the future design leaders, you know
I
what to
hope so.
do. You know where to start at least to understand. Like if you want to continue going this
Yeah,
path,
and
like if you want to
in this
become.
process, you will gain the common language. Even we are as designers um, working inside, I would say, our bubble,
Yeah,
and we talk about stuff in our bird's language. Like we call things like you need to do some stuff. All this attention span. I don't know, maybe cognitive load. People outside of design don't understand this stuff. You need to realize it. They don't know what does it mean, what does it different I don't know how different colors work, and all this color theory, composition, user interaction. They don't know it. And becoming a design manager, you will become a translator. Good design managers, good design leaders, they are good translators. Actually, they can communicate this weird language of designers to people that understand nothing in design. Like this, we will switch these parts of our journey, and this will lead to our growth in conversion, like things like this. You need to learn this.
yeah. That's a very interesting comparison. Like being a design leader is like being a design translator, where
Yeah.
you like pick the things your team created, like and translate it, learning how to translate it to business language, to stakeholders language, and yeah, to company own language. Because especially for many startups,
Yeah.
like designers interact with like company owners, like
Yeah.
founders, and yeah, it's like definitely like different level of interaction.
Yeah, and
So
one more thing, and designers have downside that they don't understand clearly. If you are a good designer, if you understand all this stuff and can communicate well with other departments, uh, you can lead them in the wrong direction. And with that comes a responsibility. You need to understand, like I saw a lot of times when design presents things, they make ideas tangible, and everybody, yeah, let's do it. And in half a year they realize, what, where we are, why are we doing this? And designers should, design leaders especially, should understand this responsibility. We can communicate and inspire people as well, but then the responsibility comes with this.
Yeah, that's true. There's one skill that appeared like many times through our conversation, and it's communication skills.
Yeah.
What do you think about them in terms of design, leadership, and management roles? Because it's like very significant skill for product designers, UX designers. You need to communicate your ideas, you need to communicate your designs, you need to be a good storyteller to sell all these stories. It seems like for the design manager and leader, it's like the storytelling and communication skills, they go on the next level.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah, it's a critical part actually. Um, mm, you are not working alone. Like it's a company, it's a business, it's a lot of people, and how well, not even design leaders, how well all company communicates stuff inside of it, how fast decision made, how easily they made, uh, how efficient they made. It plays a critical role in a company development, and designers could play a great uh, be a great person to facilitate all these activities in communicating between people. And as a designers, we always think about a lot about how we speak about things, but I think that our strongest part is the other one, how we make things visual and tangible. And if you have lack of communicative skills in the beginning, you can always use your strong part. You can always make things speak for themselves. Create a great, easy presentation. It's not that easy as you think about it. There is always ways to improve it. Even I improve it, and I think other leaders also always think how to make things easier, how to be more clear in presentation. And you can create such a good example of design in presentation that you will not have to talk to and present it as much as you will as you would need if you do a bad job in this part. So I would advise, if you still have these skills on a low, you could base on your strong skills, visualize things, create tangible, create prototypes. It always helps. Always helps. It is strong. It's a power of design. I think make ideas visual, makes ideas tangible. It's the thing. Uh, if you think about it, what could design do that other jobs could not? Like, does engineer could not create a design of a product? No, they could. They could. We want to think that without us everything will break, but it's not. It's not. And our skill is to make ideas tangible, make ideas understandable. So it's a critical part of design, I think.
Yeah, really cool advice. Like, yeah, to fulfill this lack of, let's say, communication skills, storytelling skills, you can
Yeah,
fulfill it
and
with, you can
I
replace it
have
with other
I
things.
have another, I think, great advice in this part. uh, I was talking about how valuable is this skill, but how to practice it. Start not at your job. Start somewhere else. Like start speaking to persons on the street. I don't know. Maybe in restaurant. Try to sell something to your partner, like present some idea of vacation. I don't know. Start small. Start on small stakes. So, like try to. The one thing I do daily, and I will share this hack with you. With my close friends, I don't usually write them messages. I record them my my face myself,
Oh,
uh, and it's really a practice for me. Speaking to people, like when you're writing something, it's the one skill, but speaking to people is the other skill. You can designers are creative profession. Try to be creative in this part. Don't start at your job. Start somewhere else. With your family, friends, or maybe strangers outside, if you're brave enough and not
yeah,
introverted.
yeah. Literally, you can start like anywhere, and I think it's really helpful for designers to step away from this comfort zone. Like, if you're
Yeah,
afraid of
sure.
talking in front of people and you want to be a leader, try to overcome this fear.
Yeah,
Try to do something like speak to strangers, present ideas to strangers. Like, go away from your comfort zone. Otherwise, like, you
yeah,
will stuck there, and it will be hard to do because like being a design leader means like inspiring others, leading others, like sharing and communicating different design ideas. And if you can't do this, you can't
yeah,
inspire others, like you can't defend design ideas and you can't defend your team. So definitely like stepping out of comfort zone is something we should do it like all the time, not just design leaders, but designers, like any other roles. We should go like
yeah,
out of our comfort zone from time to time to grow, to improve, and yeah,
yeah,
build new
yeah.
skills.
And there is another advice from my side. I have this notion in my head when I'm thinking about this. Like think about things that seems hard for you. Like you're thinking, okay, uh, I will show my idea. Like I have this product manager's idea, and I created this, but I have another idea. And if you're thinking about this, and you have like this notion that no, no, I shouldn't do this inside your head. No, 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 it will hurt. No, he will. Uh, Identify these thoughts and go against them. Like it's a good trigger inside your head if you're thinking about oh, okay, someone um, wants me to speak on some occasion. No, 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 I will not do this. This not for me. Then catch this idea and go against it. Go against it. That will be a true going out of your comfort zone. Yeah.
Yeah, great. Sounds really cool. So I would love to wrap up our chat with some like more controversial topic, because what I see on the market nowadays, that the demand for design leaders, like design managers, or not design leaders, design managers, going down,
Yeah.
and organizations are focusing more on their ICs, individual contributors. Uh, why do you think it's happening?
Yeah, it's. I think first of all, you need to understand how uh, economics and business side is working. Like there are always cycles of things, like things going up and then going down, and it's normal that something is decreases uh, for sure. And it nowadays, I think it. Um, uh, that this decrease in demand of design management roles shows that you need to uh, pay more attention to what value you are bringing to a company. Like a lot of years, designers were fighting to have a seat on the table. Yeah, and I think in some parts of industry, they forgot why why they wanted this so much. For what? And in the first place, it's to bring value to company. And uh, if you are a design manager or wanting to become a design manager in this current situation on market, you need to think a lot about, am I doing things that bring value to my company? And if the answer and better it be not your answer but answer of your colleagues, peers, management, that for sure you are bringing a value, then you are in a safe space, I think so. Not at all, because shit happens and sometimes not all ideas, not all startups are doing great. You need to understand this nature as well. It's normal for startups, for example, to close, to shut down. So uh, I think having this mindset of what value you bring will lead you to a safe space.
Yeah, that's great. Just like very similar what we do with products, measuring success. How do you measure
Yeah,
your success, like as a design
for
leader?
sure.
And yeah, if you have an answer,
Yeah.
you're in a good step.
Yeah, and it's a common question that people in different companies talking with different stakeholders in different companies ask me, how do we value design? How do we will we measure it? And it's a good question to ask yourself. And even as a designer, it's very great not to focus solely on user experience, part of delighting people, of bringing them joy, but also understand how to measure it. It's good questions to ask and will lead to great answers and help you communicate to business well.
Yeah, sounds really cool. And I think the last question is, of course, about the future. Where do you see the future of design leadership and management? And especially now when we have like quite a powerful AI field on the market, where do you think, like, where do you see the future of these people?
Yeah, yeah, it's very inspiring part for many of us and for me as well. And in the meantime, I had a great conversation with ChatGPT about this,
Nice.
and I think that every radical change that we have is indeed does not create something really different and shift things dramatically. It it's always about speeding up some processes, and in terms to understand and think through what will happen next with our profession, with design leadership, you need to understand what trends are now, what trends will be boosted by this technology. And of course, I see the future where we will not create a lot of UI and maybe interaction side by ourselves. We will just formulate and structure our prompt, and we will have like, I don't know, 100 variants, and we'll choose some of them and refine them. Maybe the work of designer will be this way. And for design managers, I think it's a really, really huge challenge because this decline on uh, the need of design managers inside the companies and these huge design organization design organizations will become smaller. Will become smaller, yeah. And with less amount of people, you could make more value to company. Yeah, that I think that's our future. Like departments with hundreds of designers will become these departments of 10 of people, maybe. And but still someone from there will be a leader. Some of them will be managers, for sure, but there will be no such great amount. We will lead to decline of people in our profession. And I think that if you scared, it's okay. If you're scared to lose your role and as a designer, it's a good point to think. To think, uh, what could you do? How could you catch that wave, and uh, what people will need in future? What role will demand in future? And I think that. um uh, it will be hard time in the future for junior designers to become a designer. Uh, when you able to do a lot of these repetitive work and stuff like creating design system, I think that creating design systems will be out of scope in the future completely. I think Figma will do this in the near future. It's already learning on us how we do this.
Yeah.
And the first thing that will go away will be creating a polished design system. You just click one button and then refine everything you need, and here you are. So if you're working on design system, think a lot, think a lot, and it will be hard for junior designers to become designers as well. And maybe we will see a shift in how designers become designers. Like nowadays, you maybe find a mentor, you take some course, and you find some internship in company, and then you land on some role. And in the future, I think it will be completely the other way. Like masters in the past, someone who makes words, they had like this person that follows their steps and living somewhere near them for years. And I think that the future of becoming a designer will be similar. People will look for senior designers, for experienced designers, and they will go to them like masters and follow their steps to really understand and become a designer.
Yeah, sounds really cool. Like, yeah, we'll definitely have an interesting future, and
Yeah,
we definitely
scary
need to
and
learn and
interesting.
adapt.
Yeah,
Yeah, so designers, design leaders, managers keep learning and adapting to
keep
new
learning.
environment.
Yeah,
It's changing, but we can change as well. We can step
for sure.
forward. We can step out of our comfort zone. We can learn new skills, and yeah, at least like this ChatGPT, someone created it, so we have things to do.
Yeah, and I think for design leaders, it's a good thing to um, think about all these technologies like a second brain. It's always helping me. Like it's a person that here for me anytime I want it, and it have so deep understanding of things that is really hard to gain from like in the moment. From any other person actually. In the one time I'm talking with the chat gpt about future of design leadership, in the other moment about branding, in the other moment about technologies and how different frameworks work. It's a great extension, and I think in the future will be a great separation between even greater separation between the persons who adopt all these new technologies and the ones that think the old way of doing things, like learn now, learn now.
Yeah, that's a really good tip to wrap up our conversation today.
Yeah,
So
thank you.
it was recorded, and everyone who missed it, you can watch it online on LinkedIn, YouTube, and also like I started adding this to Spotify, so you can find it and watch. And yeah, for those who watch it online, unfortunately, I don't see like the number of people who is online at the moment. But I hope you enjoyed it. And Igor, thank you for coming and sharing your thoughts. That was really insightful and helpful for I believe not only for new design leaders, but also for designers who want to pick this path or who they're thinking. And yeah, that's great. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It was a joy to talk to you today and share my knowledge and experience and thoughts. Thank you so much. Hope
Yeah,
that helped. Yeah.
yeah, well, great. Thank you. Everyone has a great day or any other part of the day. And thanks for coming. Bye.
Bye.